Hey, what's up, studs? Ryan here, or M&R Productions, with my review of the LEGO Harry Potter Summer 2020 Forbidden Forest Umbridge's Encounter set. Its set number is 75967 for ages 8 and up, and in the United States, it costs $30 with an official release date of August 1st. This set was sent to me for free from LEGO, so thank you very much to them for providing this set for me to review. You'll see the 5 figures on the front of the box there. I do have some issues with one of the figures there. We'll get to that when we look at the minifigs. Something interesting about the front of the box, usually LEGO takes actual images of their product for their box pictures. However, in this case, it is actually animated. So sometimes you see that on these LEGO sets. They've been doing that for times in the last 2 decades, but you know, it just kind of comes and goes depending on which set you have. Backside of the box shows off the features of the set, and dare I say the size of the box is a little bit odd. It's kind of like a mixture of the larger, more squarish boxes, but it still is slightly rectangular. I don't know if you guys noticed that about this box, but it does have a slightly weird shape to it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into those figures because I gotta tell y'all about Harry Potter's torso print. This is the Professor Dolores Umbridge minifigure, and I think they have nailed her character in LEGO. I mean, they've got it down pat, to be honest. Her back print is even spot on there with some like sparkly looking things on there. You got the dual molded legs, which are much more apparent around back, that it's not just a print. You can see that it's obviously pink plastic and then tan or peach colored plastic, whatever you want to call it there. So very cool. They even went through the trouble of printing her little shoes on there so that it doesn't look like she was walking around barefoot in the Forbidden Forest, which is great. Her torso print is wonderful. I always love when they're continuous from the torso to the waist to the legs like that, and you can just see how the line runs down each side of her torso there. I really find it odd that they didn't give her, you know, usually on the female minifigures they indent on the sides. Maybe it's because she's a bit of a larger character. They didn't want to indent them and make her look more realistic, I guess. I love her facial expression, though, for when she's being picked up by Grop there. You can see she is screaming at the top of her lungs. Perfect hairpiece for her as well, in my opinion. I think that is a pretty damn good look. And then on the other side, you can see her goddamn smirk there. Ooh, don't like that. So, yeah, not my favorite character from Harry Potter, and more so not that she's a bad character, but more that it's hard to like her. You, of course, get a Hermione Granger, and I think LEGO pretty much nailed the look for her in this case as well, much like Dolores Umbridge. The hairpiece, very nice and flowing down the back there. They even have the back print, which is half covered by the hairpiece, which is also going to reveal a second face under there, which is much angrier looking than the one on front, but very neat look to Hermione Granger. Very accurate, I think, to the scene, and not much to say about her, to be honest. Harry Potter, unfortunately, I'm going to have to harp on a little bit here. While I think he looks decent, what this basically is, and what Just Too Good told me, is that this torso is a reuse from other themes, and I didn't know that. I realized that it wasn't accurate, though. When I was watching this particular movie, I'm watching the scene, and I keep pausing it, and I'm like, at no point is Harry's jacket completely unzipped like this. His jacket is always halfway zipped up in the movie. So I could not figure out why they were using this torso print. Turns out it's just to reuse and save money, I guess. But yeah, that's a problem in my opinion, that they're using such a blatantly inaccurate torso. And I guess it's not the end of the world, right? Like his jacket's fine, like it looks good, but like it's just not accurate. So that's a fact, and that's what I wanted to bring up. His face looks fine, the hairpiece decent, and then flipping that around, you'll see his angrier second face where he's got some bone to pick with someone, I'm sure. The 2 Centaurs in the set are brand new and amazing looking. LEGO did a killer job with them. They've got their bow and arrow, the torso print looking really good. You got the 6-pack abs and everything built onto them. Really like the face as well. Like the coloring is wonderful. They even run a little bit of like the fur, I guess, of the guy there up onto his torso print. So it makes that blend from the horse to man a little bit cleaner there. They both do come with that double-sided face there. You can see on the left guy, I've got his hairpiece off so that you can see it, and there's the hairpiece just kind of laying there. But yeah, very awesome. They are dual molded so that you get the tail in there that is a completely different color, and if we look up underneath, you can see how that works with the dark tan in there of how that's where like the dual molded tail comes in. That's what I'm talking about. It's not just painted on, so very, very neat. You can obviously just stick those on studs there. They have the little holes to stand onto the LEGO pieces. So these are killer characters for this set, and LEGO did a wonderful, amazing job with them, and it's going to be a big draw for a lot of people, especially in such a cheap set, to get a few Centaurs. Wouldn't be surprised if we see these in some future LEGO theme or something of that sort. So, It comes with Grop and a very nice big tree as well. And this set is much more of a set where you actually play with the characters in hand, like for kids especially. Like this isn't like a great display set for someone like me that wants to just put something on my shelf. Kids will like this, you know, you can play with the characters, but for adults like me, not really the case, just so you guys kind of get the idea there. But let's take a closer look at Grop, who LEGO did probably the best job they could. Like it actually looks really pretty close to spot on compared to what he looks like in the actual film. So you have Groppy here, as Hagrid calls him. Do have some stickers on his torso here, or upper chest, kind of detailing some hair and like stitching on him, on his clothing there. His face, though, is printed on, and that looks absolutely magnificent in my opinion. Perhaps a slightly odd thing to me is that this is like a LEGO minifigure, and they gave him ears, so it's kind of got that LEGO minifig shape, but not the LEGO minifig attribute of not having ears. So that's a little bit different. Very close to the shape, maybe a little bit too sharp of an indent here going up to the top, but obviously you're limited by the pieces you have, and that's the pieces they have and like the size of all that stuff, so it works. They give him a fat belly, which is nice as well, so that he's not the skinny character, because he's definitely not skinny in the film. And you've got a little bit more of your raggedy clothing down here on his legs. His pants just all ripped up and tattered up, and you have little patches on them and such. You definitely don't want to look at this figure from behind, because it is not a pretty sight. Like it obviously looks decently good enough from the front, but on the back side you just lose all of that. They didn't tile it off on the back with the inverted tiles, because honestly it would have made it a little bit too thick, and yeah, it just doesn't hold up as good on the back as it does on the front, and that's something you would expect, but that's just it doesn't look great on the back, so don't look at it from the back. The head turns like a LEGO minifigure, the arms move. They have quite a range of motion here because they use the ball joint, and you can actually put a figure in there. Like he picks up Dolores Umbridge here, and they fit in really tightly, and there she is screaming for her life with Grop all over it. So definitely neat in that way. Obviously the legs move if you didn't notice that yet. Quite a nice range of motion with those guys. You could even just pretend to kick minifigures. Like that is just great for play for kids, I think, is something like this. So we have that whole thing with Grop, and then you also have the tree included in the set, and I really like this tree. It's actually a very well built and larger tree. A lot of times sets like this will come with really tiny trees, and that is always really disappointing. There's a spider up there, and then there's also like some mushrooms and such kind of built around it at like the base and a little bit up the trunk actually. Most of your branches are going to have leaves, but there are some branches without leaves on the set, and it does actually have a feature here where you can open it up, and I can only imagine that this is actually supposed to be like Grop's storage. So he's got like a lantern, you have a bone, you have chicken in there, and then on the other side you have what looks to me like the bicycle handlebar with the little horn on it. So that is really neat. They got quite a few details stuck up in there, and you can even hide a minifigure in there if you want. There's plenty of space to do that. Having removed all the accessories, you can actually fit a figure on the inside there. A little bit tight, but he does fit in there, and that's something that, again, if this is more of a set you're buying for a kid for their birthday or whatever the case may be, there's a lot of play like that where you may not even think about it, but they definitely will come across it at some point through their experience with a set like this, and that's fun. You can have them hide from the giant monster and Grop, and I think that's kind of a neat thing about this set, is that it can be played with in so many ways versus the way that I would put a set like on the shelf or something like that. So I can appreciate this set for what it provides for that, but for me personally, obviously not a great set. Like if you're trying to put it on display, like this just ain't for you. If you're a huge Harry Potter fan and collector, this is going to be probably the only way you can get Grop for quite a while, if ever, and I would definitely recommend it for that. If you really want Centaurs, you got to pick it up for the Centaurs, but I can't see a reason to buy it other than those two things. Like, you're not buying it for that tree. You can probably build a better custom one. But I mean, Grop, the Centaurs, and Dolores Umbridge might be enough to get you in at 30 bucks. It's only 30 bucks. Like, really, honestly, like, it's pretty good for $30. And it does have that play factor to it, which may not be important to a lot of people watching this video, but if you're buying it as a gift, it's totally good for that. And again, at 30 bucks, I mean, that's kind of what you would spend maybe on a kid's birthday gift or something like that. So I think that that is not a bad option for something like this, and definitely provides a lot of play value, not so much display value. But yeah, I gotta give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Like, I am surprised by how much I like this set. When I first saw it, I was like, who the hell is that? And why is he in a LEGO Harry Potter set, right? And, you know, since then I've rewatched the movies and I've appreciated it much more, and I can say that I thoroughly enjoy this set for what it is and what it is supposed to be, and I'm not looking at it to be something more than that. So if you ask me if I would recommend it, if you guys are thinking about buying it, I would totally say go for it for only 30 bucks, a Centaur and everything. Like, it's a pretty good deal in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think about the set in the comments section below. That's all I have for this review. Thank you for watching, and you can check out my other LEGO Harry Potter set reviews with the end screen now.